How is it that I watched this movie at my own place without going to the movie theater, watching it on Disney Plus, and I still feel like I lost out money to this movie? Well, what's up, guys? Mason the Brock Anderson here, and this is Captain America Brave New World. Finally, you've seen it, and yeah, I didn't hear great things about the movie, and I kind of understand why. To be honest, this movie is just really boring. There's not really much in it. There's not a whole lot of interesting story, interesting character moments. There are even some character moments that feel like they're repeated from previous things with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So unfortunately, a lot of this just fell flat on its face. To talk about some of the stuff that was just bad, though, first of all, the fight scenes were not really that interesting. It kicks off with this whole mission that Sam's going on, and while some of the choreography was fine, most of it was a lot of jump cuts and a lot of things that don't really make the action exciting because there's so much happening that you can't really focus on any of it. On top of that, I will also say the fact that he faces this one big guy that stops him from getting to Sidewinder. He faces him for about 5 to 10 seconds, and the guy is just whooping his ass. Like, he hits him a few times, and the guy's basically smiling through the punches. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, knees him one time, and then punches him out, and the guy's down from 2 hits. For most of that fight, it was just him constantly getting his ass whooped. And then suddenly, within 2 hits, he's turned it around. Somebody's got to explain that to me. You can't just suddenly go from, I'm not doing any damage, to suddenly, I've taken him out in 2 hits. That doesn't work that way in real life. But it also introduces us to one of the problems of the movie, and that is Joaquin. He's not a bad character, he's just kind of annoying. He's that young, excitable character that's a fan of the main hero. Very much what we saw from Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, very much what we saw from Miss Marvel. That type of character is just not interesting to me. I'm not a fan of the young characters that are idolizing the heroes because they always come off as fanboys or girls. And those characters are not really that interesting. On top of that, the dialogue they give him isn't really good. It's a lot of the stereotypical one-liners that you would expect from a young person who thinks they're all the hot shit and all of that. The fact that he ends up in the hospital because instead of just listening to Sam, who knows more and is the hero here, instead of listening to him and pulling away from this missile, he decides, no, I'm going to charge headlong into it and get myself blown up in the process. So he's an idiot. So all in all, his character just weighed down a lot of the scenes he was in. I'll also say Ruth wasn't all that interesting either. I don't really know what her inclusion here was for. She just sort of comes out of nowhere as a former widow. I don't know why she's here. It's almost like they wanted to have Black Widow in the movie, but they were like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. She's canonically dead now, so we're going to have to get somebody else to be in this movie. I don't know. Let's just go make up some random character that used to be a widow. That should work, right? That being said, I'm sure she's from the comics, but to me, she just seemed like a random inclusion that didn't seem to contribute that much overall. And the final thing to talk about before the main story is Sidewinder and the Serpents. It feels like they expected us to know who these people were and who Sidewinder is from the beginning. Like, they're talking as if these are characters we know about, right? So I don't know if there's some stuff that I missed before that I'm forgetting in past movies or TV shows, but as far as I know, this is the first time Serpent has been introduced and the first time that Sidewinder's been introduced. And yet it feels like there's history there that we should be aware of. And the thing is, you can do that. You can have a character that has history with the main hero, but it's got to be better set up than this. It's got to have more depth to it than this. But as it is, it just comes off as, oh, Captain America apparently knows who this guy is, and he seems to know Captain America, and that's all we really get. But now we can talk about the main story, and this is where I think a lot of the issues come from. Because first of all, for Stearns, I mean, honestly, I forgot he was even a character in the first Incredible Hulk movie because it's been way too long since that movie happened. You can't just suddenly bring up a character from there and be like, oh, you remember him? But the whole movie is about his plan and what he's trying to set up to do. And what is his plan? It's to turn the president into the Red Hulk. Well, that's a surprise. Man, that would be really exciting to find out in the third act if it hadn't been shown on every single promotional poster, every single trailer, advertisements for stuff that were including Brave New World as like the sponsor of the commercial. So many things showed Ross was going to turn into Red Hulk. We knew that's what was going to happen. That's Stern's whole plan for the whole movie. What are we supposed to be watching? Explain that to me. It would be like in Lord of the Rings from the beginning of the first movie, showing a trailer, spoilers I guess if you haven't seen Return of the King, showing in the first trailer of Fellowship of the Ring, showing Gollum falling in to the fire with the ring in his hand. If we saw that from the very beginning, what would we be watching for? Yes, there are some other things in the movie, but that's the whole point, is to get the ring into the fire. If we see that happening in the trailer, well, the whole movie feels like, well, we're just biding our time until we get there, right? For this one especially, because there's nothing else outside of that. That's the whole point of the movie. Yes, they throw in Sidewinder and the Serpent and all of that stuff, and I guess you also have the war that Stearns is trying to put together between the US and Japan, but the fact of the matter is, that's just a distraction. That's something to try to push Ross to the edge. It's not even really his whole goal. So it's more of a red herring. So I'm so confused that you would show the villain's plan works in the trailer. And so there's no surprise when we get to the end of the movie. So that whole setup is just crazy to me that they actually did this. Stearns himself isn't really that interesting of a villain. I mean, the guy playing him, he's more of a comedic actor in my mind. Because I think of him from like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou or Holes. Like, he's much better at comedy than he is trying to be intimidating. I know he was also in Fan Four Stick, but I've only seen a few scenes with him in that, and he comes off as comedically evil. Like, just constantly, every time he's talking, just chewing gum while he's talking, just to let people know, hey, I'm an asshole. Because only assholes chew gum this obnoxiously. So all of this premise of what the movie is about Stearns trying to get Ross to turn into the Red Hulk and destroying his legacy, we know from the trailer, from the promotionals, all of it, we know Stearns succeeds. So why am I watching this movie? It was such a boring 2 hours of my life wasted because I already knew the conclusion, in that there are some other problems that I do have. First of all, you have Sam going up against the Red Hulk. I'm sorry, I know this has already been something that they've talked about in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's something that I'm fine with them doing as long as you give Sam the proper villains to face. Sam choosing not to use Super Soldier Serum is a fine choice for his character, but he cannot be going up against a Hulk. He just can't. I'm sorry. He's a normal human being. Yes, he's got the vibranium wings, and he's got the vibranium shield, so that gives him a little bit of a boost, and of course the jetpack helps. He can use that to force his kicks and his punches a little bit more, but he's still just a normal human being. If the Hulk punches him once, even with the suit on, it's still going to do some damage to him, and he's not going to heal that quickly. He breaks a rib, he's going to be out of commission, because it could puncture a lung or something. He doesn't have the super healing that comes with the serum. So you can't have him going up against this superhuman threat and expect me to just, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Just turn off my brain and accept the fact that he can take on a Hulk with just a nice suit. As far as I can tell, Sam's suit is just a suit. It's just on there. There's probably stuff that makes him probably bulletproof, if I had to guess. But he's also going in fist fighting, kicking. He's throwing the shield with what should be superhuman accuracy. How can he do all of that as just a normal human? There's some things that they do reach a little too far past the realm of reality, to the point where now I'm sort of taken out of the movie whenever something happens that makes me go, oh, he'd be dead for sure if he were just a normal human. There was also a line from Sam whenever Ross first turns into the Red Hulk that just absolutely made me want to find the writers of this movie and just punch them all across the face in just one clean motion, just all of them. One punch all across the face. Because Ross turns into the Red Hulk, Sam shows up in the suit, he's like, this is what Stearns wanted. You think? I'm sorry. I know that most shows and movies do this now. I see this all the time, where you've got some character spelling it out for the idiot audience that are watching. Hey guys, this, the Red Hulk, Ross turning into the Red, that's what Stearns wanted. Just so you know, just in case we didn't make it apparent enough for you, we're gonna tell you. Tell, don't show. That's the rule, right? So, here you go. We're gonna spell it out for you, and we hope you understand. We hope you get it now, because we realize you're a little too stupid to get it on your... Oh my god, it blows my mind every time a character has to say what's going on that should be completely obvious to the audience. It's one thing whenever Stearns is telling the one guy what he's doing with his little device, because we don't know what the device does. We just see the guy grabbing his head in pain, and while it is very expository to have Stearns sit there, oh, well, I'm disrupting this, and if I flip this dial, then your heart's going to stop, and blah, blah, blah. It is very expository, and it feels very unnatural, but we don't know what the device does. So unless you've got a way of showing that, showing what the device is doing to him, yeah, you will have to explain it a little bit. For the Red Hulk, we know what's going on. We've pieced it together just from Stearns talking to him when he's on the boat and in his ear and telling him to release the rage. Just from that point, we should already know what he's trying to do. So that was just the point where I was not enjoying myself, but I wasn't angry. I wasn't pissed off. I was just sitting there bored. That was the point where I got pissed off because it just really frustrated me that they actually had to put that line in. Can't really think of anything else outside of that. I do think I had a quick talk with my roommate who saw it a while ago, and he pointed this out, and I did think it was very odd how they set up the fight scene with the Red Hulk, where they take him to this place that should be sentimental for him, where he used to walk with his daughter all the time. I did think it was weird that they did that. It didn't do anything, and then after they fight for a little bit, then Sam talks to him again. He calms down the second time. My roommate pointed out it would have made much more sense if that's when Liv Tyler came in, and that does make sense. I think whether she shows up the first time or even the second time after the fight has ended and then all these people are showing up but the Hulk's still up and kicking, that's whenever they're like, hey, we brought her just like you wanted us to, and then she's able to calm him down. Then that would have made a lot more sense than just Sam talking him down when he failed the first time. But yeah, the ending was just pretty bland. They ended on Sam and Joaquin just talking in the hospital room. Joaquin making jokes about wanting Wakandan vibranium wings for his Falcon suit now. And then the mid-credits, or not even the mid-credits, they didn't have one. The end credits scene where Sam's talking to Stearns in the prison cell. And he's talking about, I've seen all the probabilities and there are other universes and they're coming. I just don't understand why they think this is some revealing, oh, guys, can't believe it, final information to put in the post-credit scene. We already know about the multiverse. We have for a while. Sam doesn't, but we have. And I don't know what this is supposed to lead to, because I can't remember if Kang was already done by this point, if they'd already moved on from him. But this is not some big shocking moment at the end. This is just okay, yeah, multiverse is out there. Woo, be scared. It's similar in a way to Thanos putting the Infinity Gauntlet on, being like, fine, I'll do it myself. Which some people were just excited to see the Infinity Gauntlet. But when you really think about do what yourself, like there was nothing in Age of Ultron. It was at the end of that one. It just kind of felt like, yeah, we already know Thanos is a thing. We already know that he's wanting all of the stones. This just sort of feels like hey guys, he's coming. Hey, he's coming. When we already knew he was a threat to begin with. It felt weird. This one feels even weirder because there's nothing intimidating about this. But I think that about covers all of my complaints for the movie. The one thing that was fairly interesting was adding in the adamantium here. Apparently it's part of the Celestials' makeup, I suppose. To be perfectly honest, I don't know what adamantium was in the comics, so it could have been alien metal. But yeah, kind of interesting to have adamantium in the MCU now, so hopefully that means we're going to be seeing Wolverine. I know technically we got Deadpool and Wolverine already in the MCU, but maybe we'll be getting a new Wolverine soon, and this is the start of it. But all in all, it was just a boring, dull movie that, again, wasted my time. I feel like I didn't really get anything out of this outside of the adamantium scene. Everything else was just not interesting, or it was stupid in its setup. But at least I could say now that I watched it, will I remember most of what happened in it? Probably not, but I watched it. So that's the most I can say. Next up, I believe, is Daredevil, and I think I'm actually going to stick with Marvel just a little bit because What If and this were so quick, and I'm already done with them. I don't mind going through one more thing, and I've not heard amazing things about Daredevil, but I'm at least hoping it's better than what I've gotten for these past two things. But with all that being said, that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on Brave New World? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Marvel reviews. Also check out the channel. We have a lot of other reviews on here, so check those out if you have time. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.